fraud cases. Technically, he got a promotion, but he hates it.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Every tidbit from the first half of the new season is set to return, but in a new way. There are no genuine surprises. I'd say in Season 2, nothing goes on the screen without a reason, and therefore everything circles back into the story somehow. But I think we're definitely past the point of, okay, this season needs to show me something, prove itself. This is the show. You either care about these characters now, or you don't, or won't. Maybe the three of them coming back to the case that crippled them with fresh eyes will help make the end game a bit more engaging. Though there's still a weird part of me buried deep that wonders if all that land that was poisoned so that it could be bought cheap is being held as potential Carcosa campsites. Yes, the Yellow King shall return. I kid, of course, though the fact that cults and communes are a big part of Annie's backstory and now seem to directly tie into land up north and the torture cabin is an odd outline element to have be a part of this year's run if it doesn't lead into something more sinister. So, as mentioned, all the threads that dangled during the first 4 episodes started to get tied up here. The parties, the diamonds, the people who wanted to muscle out Frank, the missing girl that Annie and Elvis were supposed to find. The truth now lies somewhere in between a hard drive containing blackmail videos and whatever the freaky element is that wears bird masks and murders people. Another log on that fire is the fact that Ray found out that Frank lied to him about his wife's rapist, something I think a lot of us suspected early on, especially since Frank had, within his own ranks, a red-headed thug. Anyhow, that whole mess led to this, because the son is red-headed, Chad. Anyhow, that whole mess led to this episode's best scene, which was between Ray and Alicia, where Ray had to pretend that he lied about taking care of her rapist. Well, his wife's name is Dina. That's an oversight. Well, they said that was the best fucking scene. Where Ray had to pretend that he'd lied about taking care of her rapist because he'd actually done in the wrong guy. So he had to pretend like the act that drove them apart and splintered their family was something he'd made up so that she'd think he'd gotten revenge on her behalf. It was actually a really well done scene, though I don't think Ray and Frank are about to gun each other down like the closing moment of the episode would have us believe. I feel like Dr. Pitlore probably wound up taking the blunt of Ray's rage. I'm curious to see how all this shakes out on the justice front. They've already established an uber-corrupt world filled with political moves and back-end deals, but Season 1 ended with Rust and Marty not being able to really reach the upper echelons of evil. That was kind of the point, as much as it frustrated people. They could only take care of the things they could take care of. This trio, however, with Frank working things on the opposite end, looked like they might actually stand a chance of knocking down a huge house of cards. The verdict: well, I like the fact that our heroes had to take a step back in order to move forward, and that the dots are finally starting to connect with regard to the larger conspiracy. Everything that's coming back is doing so somewhat unspectacularly. We knew the missing girl was a part of this, and Dr. Pitlore, and Dixon, remember when he was spying on Paul? Despite the big action set piece from last week, the swimming pool still needs to be shocked. The swimming pool still needs to be shocked. I've never heard that expression.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I can tell. It's comic books just like the rest of comic books. They're brought back. And they have secret identities problems. They got all kinds of problems with their identities, their secret identities. Just like in all the other, comic books. Who's going to tell me it ain't True Detective? It's just like another comic book. Somebody from Comic-Con said something about it. But it's like TV, Cops, robbers, drug dealers.
identities.
Comic books are all about helping teenagers find their identities.
As superheroes,
Well, you
save the
know.
world.
I played it.
You did. That's so funny that Maggie used to play the banjo. So odd.
Well, that's damn it. The glue's not gonna fucking stay. I did it wrong. Oh, shit. Oh well, I'll probably have to glue it all over again. Let's see. This is the Intendor radio show. Craig Zierfoss, our great friend, who I dedicate this this episode to. I was tired. I couldn't get it together. I'm out of cigarettes. I was stopping again. And anyway, ignore annoying Facebook request is what he says. Your best advice in 4 words or less. Your best advice in 4 words or less from Obvious Magazine. And Craig says ignore an annoying Facebook request. I agree. Off to Gulag now. Stalin. That's from Randy in a conjunctive sort of rejoinder there. Rob Davis, rough day, man. Not only a shitty work day, but some more so from finding out who is on your side and who is full of shit. Apparently somebody is full of shit. I found out today that I've been wasting friendship and time on people not worth it. Well, that happens all the time. All your best friends, even your best friends, fail about 15% of the time. Yeah, you're lucky if that's all. I've been building this thing. I fail myself about, I don't know, about 40%. I'll do better next time on this. I played some that sound halfway sensible. But you hear that buzz will get you going. Alright. Wasting, yeah, I'm an idiot, but not a fool. I got a poem about that for the April Fool's Day party. April Fool's Day is the national transcendent holiday. And it goes, foolish in the morning, foolish at night. Foolish, 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 it just ain't right. Really bad analogies written by high school students. Let's go with the first one if I can get it to go bigger enough to read. Okay, her eyes were like 2 brown circles with big black dots in the center. He was as tall as a 6'3" tree. Her face was a perfect oval, like a circle that had its 2 sides gently compressed by a thigh master. I knew I wanted to get. I'm going to go down here to 7. The ballerina rose gracefully on point and extended one slender leg behind her like a dog at a fire hydrant. Okay. All right. Well, if that's what it looked like to you in high school, that's well, I don't know what you were in. Rob Davis shows up in a mugshot here. Changing. You have a right to be a fucko. You have a right to remain being a fucko. If you don't have a fucko with you, a fucko will be assigned to you. I guess that's one of his friends. Since Donald Trump keeps showing up on my feed, I figured I'd better check and see if asshat is 1 or 2 words, because I'll probably be using it a lot. Asshat. All right. And somebody down here says, ask John McCain what he thinks. Oh, here's something from me. How I got to put Duvetine on the... I must have written it right. Like, what are you thinking about? Because I wrote, how I got to put some Duvetine on the back window since any bright light screws up the autofocus on the camera. Otherwise, discovered the circuit for the studio's ganged outlets, putting both air conditioners on one 30-amp fuse. Not that other issues don't melt the outlets in the walls, but separating the feed ought to provide better balance and cool the fuse. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I'm not having big thoughts today. Now, this is the first church of polytheism. If a tree falls in the forest and Fox News isn't there to cover it, is it still Obama's fault? Vince Silva, free people ought not only be armed and disciplined, but they should have sufficient arms and ammunition to maintain a status of independence from any who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government. George Washington. I one time thought, and I sometimes still think it ought to be, that cops ought not have any weapons I can't have. Like that knife, it just pops out the blade with a strong spring, or, you know, a 50mm sniper rifle with a self-aiming bullet. I want one of those for transcendent airports. Rob Davis and Craig Zierfoss. Only in America is belligerent ignorance considered a value. I don't know, there might be some other countries. A friend of ours, old friend of high school, I guess her Uncle Bobby died. And it's Don Blair's birthday, apparently. And then there's a huge ship, looks like it'll sink in the sink. Alright, this is about Disney, which has a seat at the UN right next to that one that the Vatican have. Disney CEO Robert Iger raked in $46.5 million last year, which comes to $248 a minute, assuming Iger put in a 60-hour week. Every 25 seconds, Iger makes the price of a single-day pass to Disneyland, according to Scott Klinger. But Disneyland's ride operators and park cleaners would need to work full-time for nearly 6 days to afford a single day's park admission for a family of 4. Even after getting the raise to $10 an hour that negotiated for next year, these Disneyland employees will take home only about $20,000. That's really like disgusting. I knew somebody who worked for animation at Disney, and they just couldn't bear it. I mean, and they were animators, and they cared about the art and craft of it. It was a factory they had to get out. Pixar does their work for them. So, I was lying about that seat that they had next to the Vatican. But, anyway, this has been the Intendor radio show on Sunday night. Thank you.